so you can play.
The Imperial Fists were formed on Terra, where they earned their first battle honor, Roma. The Legion had the benefit of being united with their Primarch shortly after their formation. As a result, the Imperial Fists and Rogel Dorn developed as servants of the Imperium together, forming an unbreakable bond based upon the common desires of self-discipline and total commitment to order found in Dorn's temperament and the gene seed of the Legion. The homeworld of the Imperial Fists is officially given as Holy Terra. However, in functional terms, the chapter has been fleet-based since being united with their Primarch, Rogel Dorn, after which the massive starship Phalanx had served as their mobile fortress monastery. Nonetheless, the chapter still maintains a presence on Holy Terra, including the Pillar of Bone and Column of Glory. Prior to relocating to Terra, the Imperial Fists' homeworld was Inwit, where Rogel Dorn was raised and where the Legion took many of their aspirants and starships from. The general disposition of the Imperial Fists was to embrace their military role in the Great Crusade and eschew the civil responsibilities of governing worlds for recruitment and other purposes. For example, after being granted recruitment rights on Necromunda following a major victory against the Orcs, the Legion situated itself as guests rather than masters. On the subject of the Legion's relationship with the recruitment worlds, Dorn is famously recorded as saying, "I want recruits, not vassals." Such an attitude was in contrast to other Primarchs, such as Perturabo of the Iron Warriors, who took every opportunity to garrison worlds, claim their tithes, and develop a personal empire. As a strategic reserve force, the Legion rapidly deployed between battlefields, characteristically employing offensive and defensive siege warfare as the situation required, specializing in each. Offensively, the Legion functioned as an assault formation, surgically applying force where and when it was required to shatter enemy defenses, often deciding the outcome of campaigns. Defensively, the Legion was commonly tasked to defend strategic positions and defeat enemy breakthroughs. Regarding the Legion's prowess in defending sieges, Horus once remarked Dorn, "If I ever laid assault to a bastion possessed by you, then the war would last for all eternity. The best in attack matched by the best in defense." The Legion also possessed special skills in urban warfare. The Imperial Fists were so effective in their role during the Great Crusade that the Legion accumulated a record second only to that of the Luna Wolves. As a proud testament to their accomplishments, battle honors were displayed for kilometers in a gallery aboard the Phalanx. However, in the course of accumulating honors, the Imperial Fists developed hostile relationships with other legions. Most notably, the Imperial Fists maintain a bitter rivalry with the Iron Warriors, which was largely the result of both legions sharing similar combat specializations. Less known was the strong mutual hatred between the Imperial Fists and Alpha Legion, who clashed on more than one occasion prior to the Horus Heresy, though the nature of these clashes is unknown. After the successful conclusion of the Ylanor Crusade, the Emperor returned to Terra, ordering the Imperial Fists with him, where they were tasked to fortify the Imperial Palace. The Horus Heresy. Not having yet reached Terra as ordered by the Emperor after Ylanor, the Legion responded to a distress call from the Eisenstein, Death Guard Captain Nathaniel Garrow, and Remembrancer Mercedes Olaton were discovered on board, who carried news of the events which had transpired on Isfan III. In response, Dorn ordered the bulk of the Imperial Fists to the Isfan system, where he and the Legion's veteran companies returned to Terra to inform the Emperor of Horus's treachery. Significantly, each deployment faced difficulties from the warp storms that had enveloped the galaxy, which made navigation nearly impossible. On Terra, Dorn assumed command of the Imperium's armed forces. There, the Imperial Fists oversaw the fortification of the Imperial Palace, as previously ordered before the Heresy, and other duties relating to its defense, such as counterintelligence. Dorn immediately moved to organize the Imperium's response to Isfan III. After making contact as best as possible with the other legions, which the warp storms hampered, Dorn ordered that Horus be confronted on Isfan V, where his forces were entrenching themselves. Discussing the reasoning of this strategy with Melchidor, the Sigillite, he stated, "Kill the head, and the body will die. Notably, Dorn elected to keep his veteran companies on Terra, while apparently assuming the bulk of the Legion, which had been ordered to the Isthman system, would join the assault on their own initiative if they were able to navigate there successfully. At the same time, Mars entered into open revolt, endangering the Imperium's access to war material. In response, Dorn ordered First Captain Sigismund and Captain Camba Diaz to command 4 veteran companies to secure the forges of Mondus Oculum and Mondus Gamma, which together produced the majority of Astartes' weapons and armor. The Astartes force was accompanied by a number of Imperial army units. The operation was met with overwhelming resistance by traitor forces belonging to the Adeptus Mechanicus. The 2 companies under the command of Comba Diaz were outnumbered 100 to 1, and Sigismund's force of the same size was met by 2 full Titan legions. Facing annihilation, the Imperial fists withdrew from Mars, abandoning the forges but successfully evacuating at least 12,000 suits of Mark IV power armor and twice as many weapons. The 4 veteran companies involved in the operation suffered heavy casualties and were reduced to half strength. Rogel Dorn's grief was immense in the aftermath of the Horus Heresy. Until that point, Dorn had been true, noble, and enduring. But now he became an avenging son dressed in the black of mourning, whereas other legions, such as the Ultramarines, dedicated themselves to rebuilding the Imperium. The Imperial fists launched a crusade against the traitor legions, hunting them down and leveling fortress after fortress. Yet the Legion was still cognizant of its broader role as it lent itself to direct calls for assistance by Imperial worlds and institutions, more so than other legions during this period. Nonetheless, Dorn was absent from the highest councils of the Imperium until he returned to Terra upon being summoned by Robout Guilliman to be presented with the Codex Astartes. Dorn initially rejected the Codex Astartes, and enmity developed between him and Guilliman. Dorn called Guilliman a coward, citing his lack of participation in the defense of the Imperial Palace. Guilliman accused Dorn of being a traitor for refusing the Codex. This enmity quickly involved other Space Marine legions, and a rift developed. Leman Russ of the Space Wolves stood by the Imperial Fists, while Jagati Khan of the White Scars and Korax of the Raven Guard supported the Ultramarines. A second civil war appeared likely when the Imperial Fists strike cruiser, Terrible Angel, was fired upon by the Imperial Navy in connection with Codex Crisis. However, Dorn ultimately relented after suspending 7 days meditating in the Pain Glove. There, he concluded that the Legion could no longer serve the Emperor who had been, and must serve the Emperor who was, which involved accepting the new order of which the Codex was a part. Cleansed by their sacrifice, the Imperial Fists immediately began the reorganization, with the fully hardened veteran force that remained. For the next 2 decades, the newly formed chapter went into retreat in order to master the tenets of the Codex Astartes. The chapter has since assumed a place alongside the Ultramarines as exemplars of the Codex. As part of their reorganization, the Imperial Fists participated in the Second Founding, christening the Soul Drinkers, Black Templars, and Crimson Fists. The Legion's most fanatical battle brothers composed of the Black Templars, while the more level-headed members founded the Crimson Fists. It is noted that the Imperial Fist's successor chapters form a particularly tightly knit brotherhood of Space Marines, 3 of which are known to participate in the Feasts of Blades, including the Imperial Fists. In all, the Imperial Fists has created dozens of successor chapters, more than any other, with exception to the Ultramarines. The chapter retains its previous special ability in siege and urban warfare and defense, although aggressive rather than defensive operations are preferred. The martial reputation of the chapter has focused primarily on sieged warfare. The Imperial Fists are renowned siege masters. The chapter is noted for both grimly defending fortifications against innumerable foes, or storming valiantly against bastions. To support this operational specialization, the chapter maintains more siege-related weaponry than any other chapter, including a small army of Thunderfire cannons. The Imperial Fists also place great value in marksmanship, and are known for their accuracy with ranged weapons, especially bolt guns, in order to perfect the arts of the long-range kill. The chapter also maintains its own martial tradition as codified in the Book of 5 Spheres as an addendum to the Codex Astartes.